So use extra, extra virgin olive oil. It's 100% pure, like me.
There was once an episode of the TV show Married with Children that was so shocking Fox refused to air it for 13 years. The episode showed the Bundy family in a courtroom dealing with a hidden camera scandal at a cheap motel. What happened in that courtroom was unlike anything viewers had ever seen on regular television. When Ron Levitt and Michael Moe created Married with Children, they wanted to make the opposite of The Cosby Show. They were tired of perfect sweet families on TV. They even thought about calling their show Not the Cosbys to make their point clear. Instead of a loving, successful family, they created the Bundys, a family that was messy, broke, and far from perfect. Al Bundy worked a dead-end job selling shoes. His wife Peggy was lazy and didn't do housework. Their kids were disasters in their own ways. Even Ed O'Neill, who played Al, said the show was almost called We're Not the Cosbys. The creators wanted to make sure no one would confuse their show with other happy family sitcoms. In 1987, Fox was still a new TV network trying to compete with ABC, CBS, and NBC. Fox executives told the creators they had one big rule. There were no rules. They said to be as outrageous as possible. This was Fox's chance to air a show that other networks would never dare to broadcast. The result was shocking. The show made fun of marriage and parenthood. It was filled with crude jokes about sex, money, and failure. People were angry. There were boycotts. Advertisers complained. But the show found loyal fans who loved its honesty about real family problems. This audience helped turn Fox into a major TV network. Without Married with Children, Fox might have failed completely. But not everyone at Fox believed in the show at first. Barry Diller, the CEO at the time, worried that people would hate a sitcom that made fun of everything families were supposed to represent. He almost cancelled the whole thing before it aired, but the creators refused to give up. In the end, Diller let it go forward and the risk paid off. The show lasted 11 seasons and became one of TV's longest-running sitcoms. The timing was perfect. By the mid-1980s, people were tired of perfect TV families. Shows like The Cosby Show, Family Ties, and Growing Pains showed family life that didn't feel real anymore. Divorce rates were high, money was tight, and people felt frustrated by these perfect TV families. Then came the Bundys. They were broke, they argued, and they failed at almost everything. But they made people laugh about it all. The show was like holding up a cracked mirror to American life, and people loved seeing their real problems reflected back at them. Embassy Communications, the company that produced the show, took a huge risk. Most sitcoms followed the same formula. Nice characters, a lesson at the end, and everyone happy by the credits. Married with Children didn't care about any of that. The Bundys didn't learn lessons or become better people. Embassy knew this could backfire, but they bet on it anyway. That bet changed TV history. Ed O'Neill almost didn't get the part of Al Bundy. He wasn't known for comedy and had been a serious stage actor. After failing to make it as a football player in 1969, he turned to acting. When he auditioned for Married with Children, most actors went over the top with their performances. O'Neill did something different. He sighed, slumped his shoulders, and walked through the door like a man who had given up on life. That small choice won him the role. Interestingly, Michael Richards, who later became Kramer on Seinfeld, also tried out for Al Bundy. His audition was so strange that no one knew what to make of it. It wasn't right for Al, but that weird energy stuck in people's minds. Years later, or when Seinfeld was being cast, Richards' name came up again and that failed. Bundy audition helped him land the role that made him famous. At first, the creators wanted Sam Kinison and Roseanne Barr to play Al and Peggy Bundy. That would have made the show even wilder, but both turned it down. Barr wanted her own show and Kinison wanted to focus on movies. Looking back, the creators were glad that pairing would have been difficult to manage. Christina Applegate didn't play Kelly Bundy in the first pilot because the chemistry didn't work. When 15-year-old Applegate read with Ed O'Neill, it clicked immediately. She was Kelly. Their bond felt real on screen and off-screen. O'Neill became like a father to her. He supported her through tough times, and they stayed close even after the show ended. Katie Sagal brought something special to Peggy Bundy. She played the lazy, sarcastic wife with perfect style. She made fun of the typical sitcom housewife and turned her into something completely new. Sagal later said it was hard to play that role while knowing the show often treated women badly, but she gave it her all. On April 5, 1987, Fox took its biggest gamble and aired Married with Children. The network had no choice. This was their shot at survival. Fox didn't play it safe. They chose the 8 p.m. Sunday night slot, which was prime time for family-friendly TV. CBS had Murder, She Wrote, and other networks offered sweet sitcoms and feel-good movies, but Fox threw the Bundys right into that mix as a message that this was not the same old TV. The first ratings weren't impressive. Married with Children ranked 102nd in its first season. Many viewers couldn't even get Fox on their TVs. Some could only find it on fuzzy UHF channels, while others couldn't find it at all. But something started to happen. The show's wild humor and risky stories drew a loyal crowd. People told their friends, and when controversy hit, even more people tuned in. A Michigan housewife named Terry Ralter started a boycott because she hated the dirty jokes and wild plots. But the boycott had the opposite effect. Ratings went up. By the early 1990s, the show pulled in over 20 million viewers each week. The controversy only made the show more popular. But there was one episode that Fox tried to bury completely. It started like any other outrageous Bundy adventure. Ul and Peggy were desperate to fix their dull sex life. Their neighbor Marcy suggested they try a romantic night at a cheap motel called the Hop-On Inn. The place was run down and sleazy, but Peggy convinced Ul to go. Things took a shocking turn when Peggy found a VHS tape on the motel's adult channel. On the screen were their neighbors, Steve and Marcy, caught on tape in a private moment. It hit them fast. If Steve and Marcy had been recorded without knowing, so had Ul and Peggy. What started as a silly attempt at romance turned into a nightmare. Their most private moments had been stolen. The two couples decided to fight back by taking the motel to court. What followed was one of the most shocking courtroom scenes ever filmed for TV. Peggy tore into Ul on the witness stand, calling him lightning fast and saying no one even noticed when he was done. The courtroom was stunned. The dialogue was packed with dirty jokes and bold innuendos that would push limits even today. Even today, the show still matters. New fans discover it on streaming platforms like Hulu and Peacock. The interest is so strong that an animated reboot is in the works with the original cast returning to voice their characters. This proves that the Bundy family story still connects with people decades after it first shocked America and changed television forever.